I never thought I'd weaponize a teething ring against a corporate shark, but there I was, midnight, in our gated McMansion enclave, slipping anonymous tips to the HOA board like poison darts into a cocktail party. It started with her, Karen Voss, CEO of some faceless fintech empire, banging on my door at 2 a.m., screeching about unacceptable auditory disturbances from my 6-month-old's cries, her face purple as a bruised plum. By dawn, I'd unearthed her dirty laundry. 3 yapping chihuahuas terrorizing the community pool, unlicensed emotional support, peacocks strutting the golf course, and a wine-fueled restraining order from her ex-neighbor in Palo Alto. Revenge? Hell, this was justice served with a side of petty. But let's rewind, because the real gut punch wasn't the complaint. It was realizing how one woman's unchecked entitlement could unravel a new mom's fragile world, turning our dream home into a battlefield of passive-aggressive emails and veiled threats. I'd moved to Willow Creek Estates 3 months pregnant, visions of block parties and playdates dancing in my head, only to discover the HOA covenant might as well be the 10 Commandments, enforced by Karens like Voss with the zeal of a cult leader. My name's Emily Hargrove, and if you told me a year ago I'd be knee-deep in suburban warfare, I'd have laughed over a pumpkin spice latte. Back then, I was the wide-eyed transplant from a cramped Brooklyn walk-up, newly married to Jake, a software engineer with that boyish grin that still makes my knees weak. We'd scraped together our life savings for this slice of the American dream, a 4-bedroom colonial in Willow Creek, just outside Raleigh, North Carolina. The kind of place where driveways gleam with Tesla SUVs, kids bike to the community pool without helmets because freedom, and the air smells like fresh-cut grass mixed with barbecue smoke on Sundays. We closed on the house in late spring, right as the dogwoods were blooming pink against the Carolina blue sky. Jake carried me over the threshold like in the movies, our boxer mix, Max, bounding ahead to claim the backyard as his kingdom. "This is it, Em," he whispered, spinning me under the chandelier in the foyer. "No more subway rats. Just us building something real." I believed him. God, I did. Little did I know. The real vermin wore Lululemon and wielded PDFs like switchblades. Our daughter, Lily, arrived like a summer squall on August 12th. 8 pounds of fury and rosebud lips, with Jake's hazel eyes and my stubborn chin. The first weeks were a blur of midnight feedings and that bone-deep exhaustion that makes you question every life choice. But Willow Creek was paradise for new parents. The Mommy and Me yoga at the clubhouse, the splash pad where toddlers waddled like drunk ducks, the neighborhood app buzzing with Lost. One blue pacifier. Reward. Eternal gratitude. Enter Karen Voss. She lived at 47, Oak Ridge Lane, the biggest house on the block. A sprawling Mediterranean monstrosity with a 3-car garage stuffed with her Porsche Cayenne and 2 Beamers for her executive assistants, Reed, underpaid interns. At 52, she was the undisputed queen bee of Willow Creek's HOA board, a self-made CEO who'd clawed her way up from some Midwestern trailer park to helm Voss Financial Solutions, a company that preyed on gig workers with predatory loan apps. Her LinkedIn bio gushed about disrupting inequality, but locals whispered she once sued her own sister over a shared fence line. I first crossed paths with her at the Welcome Potluck, a mandatory affair where newbies like us were hazed with Jell-O salads and Covenant recitals. Jake and I showed up with a tray of deviled eggs, Lily swaddled in my arms like a football. Karen zeroed in on us immediately, her eyes, small and lash-extensioned, raking over Lily's blanket like it was contraband. "Oh, a newborn," she cooed, but it came out like nails on chalkboard. Adorable. Just remember, the covenants are clear on noise after 10 p.m. We value our serenity here. Jake chuckled politely, but I felt the chill. Serenity? This was suburbia, not a spa retreat. The trouble brewed slowly, like sweet tea left too long in the sun. Lily was a colicky little firecracker, screaming fits that could wake the dead, especially around 1 a.m. when her gums turned traitor. We'd rock her in the nursery, the one with the starry night projector and walls painted soft lavender, humming off-key lullabies until she conked out. But sound carries in these cookie-cutter builds, thin walls be damned. One night, as Jake paced with Lily over his shoulder, murmuring, "Shoot, baby girl, daddy's got you." The doorbell erupted like a grenade. I stumbled down in my ratty robe, hair a bird's nest, and yanked it open to find Karen on the stoop, bathrobe cinched tight over her ample frame, a tablet glowing in her meaty fist. Behind her, the streetlights cast her shadow long and menacing, like a Bond villain in slippers. "Mrs. Hargrove?" she barked, not waiting for confirmation. "We've received multiple complaints about excessive noise emanating from your residence. This is your formal warning under Section 4.2 of the Willow Creek Covenants. Auditory disturbances prohibited between 10 p.m. and 7 a.m. My brain, fogged from sleep deprivation, took a beat to process. Complaints? From who? It's just our baby crying. She's 6 weeks old. Karen's lips pursed into a bloodless line, her double chin quivering with indignation. Age is no excuse for disruption. This is a premium community, $2.3 million average home value. We have retirees, remote professionals. Your domestic situation is impacting quality of life." She thrust a tablet at me, a digital form already half filled. My name, address, the infraction timestamped 1:47 a.m. At the bottom, a checkbox for fine, $250, and another for escalation to board review. I blinked, heat rising in my chest like heartburn. This is insane. Babies cry. It's biology, not a frat party. Jake appeared behind me, Lily mercifully quiet now in his arms, his free hand on my shoulder like an anchor. "Ma'am," he said evenly, that engineer calm kicking in. "We're doing our best. Maybe some white noise machines? We'll look into it." Karen's gaze flicked to Lily, then back to us, dripping disdain. "See that you do. And keep that mutt of yours leashed. Saw him off lead near my rose bushes yesterday." She spun on her heel, Uggs slapping the welcome mat, and marched back to her fortress, leaving the door chime echoing like a death knell. I slammed the door harder than intended, tears pricking hot. Who the hell does she think she is? We're paying $4,800 a month in mortgage and dues for this crap. Jake pulled me close, Lily sandwiched between us. "Breathe, Em. She's just one busybody. We'll talk to the board president tomorrow. Guy's a dad. He'll get it." But as I lay awake that night, staring at the ceiling fan's lazy spin, a seed cracked open in my gut. Not fear, not defeat, something sharper, hungrier. Betrayal, maybe, from this place we'd pinned our hopes on. Or the raw, primal rage of a mother lying cornered. Whatever it was, it whispered, "Fight back." The next morning, over burnt toast and Jake's instant coffee, we scrolled the neighborhood forum. Buried in the general discussion thread were echoes of Karen's reign. Voss vetoed the playground expansion, said swings are noise hazards. Don't get me started on her pet policy, banned my laugh in the dog park because he barked aggressively at her shadow. And then, the gym, an old post from a former resident at Raleigh Exile 87, spilling tea on Karen's Palo Alto days. That which had peacocks as therapy birds, crap everywhere, neighbors called animal control. She lawyered up and won, but her ex filed for harassment. Check public records if you dare. My fingers flew to my laptop. Public records? In North Carolina, they're a click away via the county clerk's site. There it was. Voss versus Patel, 2019. Restraining order granted after Karen allegedly harassed her neighbor with anonymous complaints about illegal modifications to a fence, which turned out to be her own drunken ram into it. Dismissed, but the mud stuck. "Jake," I call, heart pounding like a bass drum. This woman's a serial complainer. And get this, her chihuahuas? Unregistered. Photos from the pool, cams show them off-leash, nipping at kids. He leaned over, scanning the screen. "Em, we can't stoop to her level." But I already was. That afternoon, while Lily napped in a rockin' play, I drafted my first anonymous email to the HOA board. Concerned resident Re. 47, Oak Ridge Lane, multiple instances of unleashed dogs violating Section 7.1. Attached, time-stamped photos from community cams. Suggest immediate review. I used a burner Gmail, routed through a VPN Jake set up for fun. Petty? Sure. But after her 2 a.m. ambush, fair felt like a four-letter word. The board's response was swift, a terse investigation pending. Karen's retaliation? A passive-aggressive group text. Reminder, all pets must be licensed and leashed. Recent complaints noted. Let's keep Willow Creek pristine. Two hearts, HOA harmony. I laughed, a brittle sound, as Lily cooed from her crib. Pristine? I'd show her pristine. That night, as her chihuahuas yipped through the baby monitor I jury-rigged to pick up neighborhood noise, I dove deeper. LinkedIn stalked her connections. Ex-employees venting on Glassdoor about toxic micromanagement. Twitter, or X, whatever, had a thread from 2022. Karen Voss exposed, with screenshots of her berating a barista over insufficient foam in her oat milk latte, going viral with 50K likes. By week's end, Lily's cries had escalated, teething like a chainsaw through butter. Another complaint landed in our inbox, this time with a $100 fine attached. Jake wanted to lawyer up, but I waved him off. No, we're playing her game. Smarter. That's when I found the peacocks. Tucked in her garage cam blind spot. Thanks. Drone footage from a bird-watching hobbyist on the forum. Two iridescent beasts preened on her back patio, feathers molting into the communal green space. North Carolina, wildlife, regs. Clear as day. Exotic birds require permits. Karen had none. My second tip, urgent. Unauthorized exotic animals at 47 Oak Ridge. Health hazard, feathers and pool filter. See attached. Sent at 3 a.m. Time to her witching hour. The board meeting invite pinged the next day. Emergency session. Karen's reply all meltdown was poetry. This is libelous sabotage. I demand the perpetrator be unmasked. But the votes were in. Temporary pet quarantine for all residents pending audits. Her chihuahuas vanished into kennels. The peacocks? Confiscated by animal control, squawking all the way to the van. I watched from my nursery window, Lily gnawing her fist contentedly, as Karen stormed out in a moo-moo, screeching at the officers like a banshee. Do you know who I am? I'll sue this podunk association into oblivion. Sweet, vengeful nectar. But this was just the appetizer. The main course? Oh, it was coming, laced with enough controversy to choke a lawyer. The fallout hit like a nor'easter, sudden, sloppy, and soaked in drama. By Monday, Willow Creek's group chat was a dumpster fire. Karen's birds? Straight up illegal. Remember the turkey incident at the 4th of July barbecue? Apparently, she'd once gifted a neighbor a live turkey that escaped and terrorized the cul-de-sac. Jake and I kept our heads down, attending the PDA mixer like normal folks, but whispers followed us like perfume. You hear Voss got fined $500 for the feather fiasco? A mom from down the street murmured over Chardonnay spritzers. I sipped mine, feigning shock. No way. That's out of Sting. Sting? It was a full-body rash. Karen doubled down, plastering flyers on every lamppost. HOA tyranny. Stand against overreach. Join the Voss petition for board recall. She CC'd local news. A plucky reporter from WRL showed up at the gates, microphone thrust like a bayonet. Ms. Voss alleges discrimination against working mothers. Executives with pets. Your comment. The anchorwoman pivoted to me outside the grocery store 2 days later, produce aisle ambush style. Mrs. Hargrove, your noise complaints sparked this feud. Do you regret escalating? I paused, cart loaded with organic purees and frozen burritos. Lily strapped to my chest in her carrier. The camera light was hot, unflinching. Regret? Ma'am, my baby's cries aren't noise pollution, they're life. If enforcing rules applies to everyone, why stop at me? It aired at 6 p.m., me looking every bit the relatable mom. Karen edited in as the frothing harpy. Views exploded. 10K on YouTube, clips alone. Hashtags trended. HOA Karen, Suburban Showdown. Reddit's r/malicious compliance lit up with reposts. OP revenges on entitled CEO. Pets grounded, karma served. Comments poured in, a mix of cheers and pitchforks. Drag her versus HOAs protect property values. Crybabies on both sides. Karen's countermove was pure Voss. A smear campaign. Anonymous posts on Nextdoor accused the Hargroves of blatant retaliation via false reports, complete with a blurry photo of Max off-leash. It was for move-in day, pre-training. She even doxed our old Brooklyn address, implying we'd brought urban chaos to the burbs. Jake fielded calls from his boss. Heard your HOA famous, buddy. While I fielded hate mail, glitter-bombed envelopes with "Shut your spawn up" scrawled in Sharpie. But rage is a hell of a fuel. That night, post-bedtime, I cracked open my war chest, a legal pad of Voss's sins, cross-reference from pacer dockets and county filings. Buried in her divorce records? Custody battles where her ex claimed she prioritized board meetings over bedtime stories, with notes on her erratic behavior under stress. Juicier, Voss Financial's 2023 EEOC complaint, allegations of fostering a hostile environment via microaggressions, settled out of court for an undisclosed sum. I didn't blast it publicly. Not yet. Instead, I forwarded select excerpts to the HOA attorney, anonymized, potential liability board member Voss, history of harassment claims. Advise audit. The lawyer, a no-nonsense type named Harlan who'd once repped a dog breeder in a zoning war, bit hard. Board votes unanimous. Voss suspended pending ethics review. Her suspension party? Epic. She crashed the next committee meeting. Wine tasting for the Holiday Lights Fund, flinging stemware like confetti. This is a witch hunt. Emily Hargrove, you sniveling ingrate. I know it's you. Heads turned. Phones whipped out. The video went viral faster than a cat meme. Karen's face a mask of red-veined fury, spittle flying as she jabbed a sausage finger at empty chairs. You think you're clever? I'll bury you in legal fees. Jake and I watched from our couch, popcorn in hand, Lily gurgling at the TV like it was Sesame Street. Bury us, he snorted. With what? Her 401k. But the backlash bit us too. Provost petitions circulated, mostly her sycophants, the empty nest crowd who'd voted her in for strong leadership. One, a retired banker named Stu, cornered Jake at the gym. Your wife's stirring the pot, son. Karen's like Voss keep values up. Yours might tank if she sues. Property values. The holy grail. We'd sunk everything into this house. A dip could mean ramen for years. Doubt crept in, cold and clammy. Was I the villain? Turning a petty spat into a spectacle. All for a few nights' peace? Lily's cries echoed that question at 4 a.m. Her tiny fists balled in protest. As I nursed her in the glider, moonlight slanting through the blinds, I scrolled Karen's Instagram. Curated perfection. Her at gala fundraisers, arm candy date in tow, captions like empowering women and finance boss babe. But zoom in. The comments disabled the likes bot. A facade cracking under my siege. Revenge isn't clean. It itches like cheap wool. But quitting? Not an option. The next salvo came via the board's new interim chair, a yoga instructor mom named Priya, who'd bonded with me over lactation woes. Emily, she texted, Voss is pushing for a full audit on everyone, including you. Got dirt to counter. Dirt? I had a quarry. Digging into Voss Financial's SEC filings, public domain, baby, I uncovered the crown jewel. A whistleblower suit from 2024, alleging she'd fudged quarterly reports to Jew stock options, settled quietly, but flagged for material weakness. Tie that to HOA fiduciary duties? Boom! Conflict of interest. My tip-off email. Ethics breach. Board members' company under federal scrutiny. Resignation recommended to avoid taint. Sent at dawn, coffee black as my soul. The board reconvened that afternoon. By evening, Karen was out, full expulsion, with a gag order on community comms. Her house went radio silent, blinds drawn like a funeral parlor. Neighbors toasted with backyard beers. To peace and quiet. I should have stopped there, basking in the glow. But schadenfreude is a drug, and I was hooked. Little did I know, her final strike would draw blood, real raw, the kind that scars. 2 days post-expulsion, Jake got the call. From his company's HR. Mr. Hargrove, we've received correspondence alleging workplace harassment tied to your spouse's public disputes. Nothing substantiated, but sensitivity, training mandatory, and a note in your file. Karen, she'd lawyered up. All right, subpoenaed our neighbors for witness statements, leaked Jake's work email to her fintech cronies. One reply: Hargrove's unstable. His wife's a litigious nightmare. Proceed with caution. My hands shook as I read the chain, forwarded by a sympathetic coworker. This wasn't just revenge. It was war spilling into our livelihood. Lily's future, daycare, college funds, now collateral. That night, storm raging outside, classic Carolina thunder, biblical in its fury. I confronted Jake in the kitchen. Rain lashed the windows like accusations. This ends now, he said, voice cracking. She's unhinged, Em. We go nuclear. Restraining order, full media blitz. But nuclear? That meant exposing it all. Her skeleton's ours. The Brooklyn eviction we'd buried. My postpartum fog that made me snap at canvassers. No one wins clean. As lightning forked the sky, illuminating Karen's darkened mansion across the green, I made my call. One last play. Bitter? Yeah. But she'd learn. Mess with a mama bear, and the claws come out bloody. The storm broke by morning, leaving puddles like shattered mirrors on the driveways. But the real deluge was Karen's desperation play. She didn't slink away. No, she amplified, renting a billboard at the estate's entrance. Innocent until proven guilty. Fight HOA corruption. Vostrong.com. The URL led to a slick site, GoFundMe embedded, raking in $15,000 from pity donors and MAGA-adjacent anti-woke types who'd latched onto her as a martyr against feminazi HOA mobs. Local Fox affiliate ate it up. Suburban CEO ousted in sexist smear. Is this the death of due process? Cut to Karen in a power suit 2 sizes too small, dabbing tears with a monogrammed hanky. I'm a survivor of small-town bigotry, built my empire against odds. Now a vengeful newcomer targets my therapy animals, my emotional lifeline post-divorce. Therapy animals? The peacocks were her divorce therapy, imported from a shady breeder to spite her ex's allergy. The narrative flipped overnight. Protests brewed. 5 Karens in training picketing the clubhouse with signs. Pets have rights too, and moms versus monsters. Who's the real bully? Priya called me panicked. Boards wobbling. Stu's pushing reinstatement. Says your campaign devalued lots by 2% overnight. Devalued. That word clawed deep. Zillow pings showed our equity dipping. $20K off the top like a slow bleed. Jake's training session loomed. He'd come home hollow-eyed, practicing canned apologies for boundary issues. Lily, oblivious, babbled at her high-chair tray, smashing peas with gleeful abandon. How do you explain to a 6-month-old that mommy's war chest is bankrupting daddy's dreams? I doubled down because surrender tastes like ash. Hitting Vostrong.com's back end, a quick WHOS showed her nephew's sloppy dev work. No HTTPS, amateur hour. I scraped donor lists. Cross-referenced with LinkedIn. Half were her disgruntled ex-employees, donating out of spite or Stockholm. The real gold? A $5,000 chunk from anonymous executive, traceable to her own offshore slush fund, per a quick SEC tip line report. My Hail Mary, leaked to the reporter who doorstepped me. Not raw files, curated drips. Sources say Voss's therapy claim is BS. Peacocks were status symbols, not RX. Check the breeder invoices. The story dropped at noon. HOA drama deepens. CEO's pets linked to tax evasion scheme. Pandemonium. Her GoFundMe froze pending review. Donors clawed back pledges like rats from a sinking ship. Twitter mobs turned. Voss scam trending. Memes of her as a peacock-plumed villainess. From board boss to bird brain. Karma's got feathers. Karen's response? A 3 a.m. voice memo, somehow blasted to the entire neighborhood listserv. Hack her account? Priya's IT-savvy hubby took credit. Her voice, slurred with Merlot. You think you've won. Hargrove? I've got dirt that'll bury you. Your husband's side hustle. Those freelance gigs? Off books, baby. IRS loves that. And your little brat? Daycare cam shows neglect. Bruises from roughhousing. Enjoy the audits. Bruises? Lily had a diaper rash, mistaken for worse in grainy footage. Jake's gigs? Legit 1,099s, but blurred lines in a startup world. She was bluffing, or was she? Her fintech tentacles ran deep. One call to a crooked auditor, and we'd be audited into oblivion. Fear gnawed, but fury forged armor. I rallied the troops. A secret Slack for Covenant Crusaders. Moms and dads fed up with Voss's velvet-gloved tyranny. Priya shared tales of her vetoing Diwali lights as cultural overkill. Stu's wife confessed Karen had blackballed her book club for lowbrow selections. Romance novels. Gasp. We struck as one. Mass affidavits to the board, detailing years of Voss's overreach. Unapproved deck extensions. Poolside vaping. Hers. The time she borrowed the community gazebo for a private event that left it trashed with caviar wrappers. The ethics hearing? A circus. Held in the clubhouse ballroom. Folding chairs creaking under 50 residents. Air thick with popcorn and tension. Karen arrived like a storm front. Lawyer in tow. A slick Charlotte suit with a Rolex that screamed billable hours. She testified first, voice quavering for the cameras. Local news again, smelling blood. This witch hunt stems from my stand against anarchy. Hargrove's infant disrupted my Zoom calls, critical for multi-million deals. My pets? Legally prescribed for PTSD from my abusive ex. Sniffles, dabbed dramatically. The board, now stacked with our allies, grilled her. Ms. Voss, your SEC filings show no PTSD disclosures. And the peacocks, import docs list them as ornamental fowl, not service animals. Her lawyer objected. Irrelevant. But Harlan, the attorney, slid exhibits across the table. Your Honor. Madam Chair, this is perjury adjacent. Donors to your defense fund include subordinates. Quid pro quo. Gasps rippled. Karen's facade cracked, jowls flushing beet red. Lies. All of it. She lunged for the table, knocking over a water pitcher. Splash across Harlan's notes. Chaos ensuing. Security, too burly dad from the grill committee, escorted her out, her wails echoing. I'll own this hellhole. You'll all rue the day. The vote. 8-2 expulsion upheld, plus a $10,000 fine for defamation and disruption. Cheers erupted. Champagne corks popped. Priya hugged me fierce. You did it, Em. Willow Creek's free. Free? As confetti rained, shredded covenants, ironic touch, I scanned the crowd. No Jake. Text. HR meeting ran long. Love you. Home soon. The high crashed hard. Driving home, Lily asleep in her car seat, I passed Karen's house. Lights blazing, U-Haul idling in the drive. Movers hauled boxes. She stood on the porch, arms crossed, glaring daggers. Our eyes locked through the windshield. Hers, venomous, unbowed. Mine, steel. But victory's hollow when it costs. Jake arrived at midnight. Ty Askew, bearing takeout Ty. Cleared, he said, collapsing onto the couch. Complaint retracted. Her lawyer backed off when I mentioned countersuit for interference. We ate in silence, forks scraping styrofoam, Lily's monitor beeping soft breaths. As thunder rumbled distant, I whispered, was it worth it? He squeezed my hand. For us? Yeah. For her? She's done. Done? Not yet. Her parting shot was en route. A venom vial labeled Final Notice. Dawn painted Willow Creek in honeyed light, mocking the mess we'd made. The billboard came down overnight. Repossessed for non-payment, per the gossip chain, leaving a ghost outline. Voss strong, faded like a bad tattoo. Neighbors waved as I jogged Max around the loop, Lily in her stroller cooing at squirrels. Morning hero, Stu called, no grudge, toasting with his thermos. Even the anti-Karen picketers had scattered, their signs curling in trash bins. Karen's for sale signs sprouted by noon. Zillow listed at $1.9 million for $100,000 under ask, motivated seller. Open house that weekend drew gawkers. Tire kickers snapping pics of the peacock poop-stained patio, whispering about the cursed estate. Offers trickled. One low ball from a flipper, eyeing Reno potential. She held out, stubborn as kudzu. Me? I played normal. Mommy yoga, crock-pot meals, Jake's promotion toast, HR purge complete, his file scrubbed. But sleep evaded, haunted by her porch glare, that promise of payback. Turns out, spite's a slow poison. It landed mid-October, leaves turning fire orange, air crisp with bonfire smoke. Jake's phone buzzed during dinner. Unknown number, Charlotte area code. He answered on speaker, casual, Hargrove. A pause, then her voice, silk over shards. Jacob, Karen Voss. Congrats on the bump up. Heard your team lead now. Impressive for a man married to a agitator. Jake's fork froze mid-air, pad thai dangling. How'd you get this number? We're done, lady. Laughter, low and wet. Done? Oh, honey, I networked. Your boss. Plays golf at my old club. Mentioned your domestic volatility. But that's not why I'm calling. Rustle of papers. See, in divvying assets, I audited my Oppo research. Turns out, your wife's Brooklyn co-op? Eviction for non-payment, 2018. Sublet scam, right? And that freelance income, 1,099's filed late, penalties pending. IRS Form 3949, A's a bitch. My blood iced. The eviction. A roommate stiff, pre-Lily lean times. We'd paid it off, buried it. The gigs, startup chaos, extensions filed. Harmless footnotes. Until twisted. What do you want? Jake growled, knuckles white. Walk away clean. Public apology on the forum. Hargrove's regret unfounded accusations. Retract all filings. Or click email chime. Attachment, redacted IRS notice. Our names bolded, plus a nanny cam still of Lily's rash circled in red. Child services referral imminent. Bluff? Maybe, but the chill was real. I snatched the phone. You miserable hag. This is extortion. Call it balance, Emily. You took my board seat, my pets, my reputation. I take your piece. Post by midnight, or watch your fairy tale burn. Line dead. We stared at the screen, steam curling from untouched plates. Lily banged her sippy cup, oblivious. She's unhinged, Jake muttered. We lawyer up. No. My voice cracked, but resolve hardened it. We end this. Her way. The post drafted in 10 minutes, sterile as a surrender flag. The Hargrove family apologizes for any distress caused in recent HOA matters. We value community harmony and commit to better neighboring. Hit send at 11:59 while rising. Forum lit up. WTF? Karen wins. Backbone people don't cave. Priya DM'd. Don't let her gaslight you. We're with you. But the damage seeped. Morning brought a child protective ping. Routine check. They said anonymous tip on potential neglect. Social worker at our door by noon. Kind-eyed but probing. Diaper history? Support system? Lily charmed her with a gummy grin. Case closed unfounded. Still, the violation lingered, raw as a slap. Jake's golf buddy called. Voss cornered me. Hinted at your ethics lapses. Laugh it off, but watch your six. We hunkered, but the leaks multiplied. Zillow comments. Sellers desperate. Rumors of feuds. Our equity flatlined. Lily's daycare whispered about enhanced monitoring. Karen's exit gala? A farce. Closing on a lowball offer. $1.6M. Tears in her closing docs. She threw a farewell soiree in the empty living room. Invites via mass text. One last toast to Willow Creek Warriors. 10 showed. Curious vultures, not allies. She held court in a sequined sheath. Sloshing Merlot. They broke me, but I'll rebuild. Bigger. Badder. Watch the news. Voss Financial's IPO next quarter. I crashed it. Uninvited, Lily on hip, Jake vetoed, but I went rogue. Slipped in the side door, mingling like a ghost. She spotted me across the barren space, mid-rant to Stu's wife. And that bitch Hargrove. I stepped forward, voice steady. Enjoy the send-off, Karen. Word is your IPO's DOA, SEC's sniffing that material weakness like bloodhounds. Gasps. Her glass slipped, shattering on oak floors, symbolic, really. You, face crumpling, mascara rivers. Get out. Security. No security. Just movers pausing mid-hall. Crowd parted. Whispers swelled. What you mean, SEC? She lunged, clawing air, lies. You're the liar. Ruined me. I held ground. Lily fussing at the drama. Ruined? You did that yourself. The complaints, the threats. But hey, karma's bipartisan. Priya materialized, back up, guiding me out as Karen dissolved into howls. Outside, under street lamps buzzing gold, the neighborhood watched from windows. Silent jury. By dawn, she was gone. U-Haul taillights fading toward God knows where, rumored a condo in Boca, pets rehomed to a shelter upstate. Voss Financial tanked 15% on regulatory whispers. Her board seat? Glass ceiling shattered. Willow Creek healed slow. Forum apologies flowed. Sorry, Hargroves, should have backed you harder. Our value rebounded. Jake's promo stuck. Lily's first word? Mama, teething ring in triumph. But scars linger. I glance at 47 Oak Ridge now, a young couple with twins, minivan in the drive. Peaceful. Yet at 2 a.m., when Lily whimpers, I hush her fierce. Not for covenants, but for the wild in me she woke. Revenge? It hollows as it heals. Karen's bitter end. Exile, empire cracked, alone with echoes. Mine? A fuller life, clawed from ashes. In America, the dream's not given. It's guarded tooth and nail. And if another knocks at midnight, I'll answer. Door wide, smile sharp.